Chronic wasting disease, or as more commonly known, the zombie deer disease, is an epidemic to the deer population. Chronic wasting disease is actively spreading throughout Pennsylvania and is taking a significant toll on the population. This disease is taking a toll on the deer family, which can have a significant effect on all of us as it could damage the delicate ecosystems. I have done a lot of research on this topic over the years as it's become more prevalent. I'm going to talk about how CWD is spreading and hurting the populations and ecosystem, where it is currently spreading to, and what they are trying to do to limit this disease. To begin, I'm going to tell you how the disease is spreading and the damage it has on the population. Chronic wasting disease is spread through the contact of bodily fluids between the animals, and is also caused by the prions that deteriorate brain tissue. It is highly contagious, and once one individual of a herd gets it, the entire herd is likely to be susceptible to it. It is hard to limit the disease because the deer show no symptoms after being infected. CWD is hurting the populations of the species. Chronic wasting disease is doing damage to the populations. According to David Edmonds and co-authors of Chronic Wasting Disease Drives Population Decline of White-tailed Deer, the study on their wild herd saw a 10.4% decline annually. Since this disease is so contagious, it is spreading like wildfire through the United States. Now that I've talked to you about how it spreads and the effect on the population, I'm going to talk about where the disease has spread. This disease has spread throughout the country and even into Pennsylvania. This disease was originally discovered in Colorado, is now spread through several Midwest states, and even in Pennsylvania. According to Teresa Odell in the Gale Encyclopedia of Environmental Health, eventually the disease spread to wild herds in at least 15 states, 2 Canadian provinces, and South Korea. This disease has come in and is infecting Pennsylvania deer herds as well. CWD is currently present in 25 counties in Pennsylvania. The counties that are infected are separated into DMAs, or disease management areas. Now that you have heard the effects on the population and how it spreads and where it is spread, finally I'm going to tell you about what is being done to limit the disease spread. In Pennsylvania, the Game Commission currently has counties labeled as infected, or DMA. According to Kane Republican of the PA, hunting disease management areas, all who hunt and harvest deer within either of the state's DMAs must comply with special rules aimed at slowing the spread of chronic wasting disease in Pennsylvania. Some of these rules are: if you are in a quarantined area, you cannot transport the neck or head of a deer carcass. You are not able to transport domestic deer into or out of a DMA area. On the national level, there are studies being done on both domestic and wild populations of infected deer. According to John Hayes of the Pittsburgh Gazette, the number of free-ranging deer tested increased significantly. Many states adopted a carcass transportation regulations. These rules are similar to the ones I've just labeled in the PA. In conclusion, that is how chronic wasting disease is an epidemic for our deer population. Now you know more about how the disease spreads and the effects on the deer population, where the disease is affecting, and what is being done to prevent this disease. Chronic wasting disease, CWD, or zombie deer disease, or whatever you want to call it, is a serious disease and it could be the downfall to the United States ecosystems.